We have done numerous videos on this subject of the African Union Commission chairmanship elections. And in this video, we are basically just going to crunch the numbers and have a review of the campaigns, how the candidates in this election have fared. We are not going to dwell so much on the other dynamics because all that needs to be said, we have already talked about in our previous videos. And I'm going to pin one video here and several other videos at the end of this video on the screen for you to choose and watch some of the topics that we've covered in these elections of the AUC and the dynamics that matter. Elections of the AUC Commission is going to happen this Saturday. That is going to be the 15th of February. And three candidates are left in the race. All of them have tried to campaign. However, we've only seen one do so much, and the second one also have tried. The third candidate from Madagascar, we have not seen so much, and we don't know how everybody has been conducting their campaign. For example, the candidate for Kenya has been someone who comes out clearly and visible to everybody to see what he's doing, visiting countries one after the other. And by now he has visited around 43 that have counted. The other candidate for Djibouti, we haven't seen him visit so many countries, or maybe the way he's been doing his campaign is not very clear. But we've seen him visit some countries, Egypt, I've seen him in Tanzania, I've seen him in UG, and I've also seen him in Senegal. I don't know what other tactics that he's employing to ensure that he's reaching all the heads of state who are the voters in this election. And the Madagascar candidate has kept a very low profile, and you've not seen him visit any country. So maybe he has been employing other tactics of engaging heads of state to go and vote for him, maybe through phone calls and other diplomatic means. Before we dive so much into this video, I want to make a special, passionate appeal to you, the viewer, who is watching this video. Kindly subscribe to this channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are looking basically to only 5 special people who are going to bless us by subscribing to this channel. We are currently at 560 subscribers. So basically 500 subscribers are enough to make us hit 1,000. It is crucial, and please subscribe. Don't skip the video. Don't proceed without subscribing. Thank you. God bless you for subscribing. Thank you so much. It goes a long way. And the first 1,000 subscribers are the cornerstone of the channel. We want you to be part of this channel as the cornerstone. Thank you so much. God bless you. So in this video, as I've promised, we're just basically going to crunch the numbers. As you know, this election of the AUC this time around was meant to be for the East Africa nations to produce a candidate. And if you look at the East Africa countries, if I look at the wider East Africa countries, they are about 18. That one I've included even Malawi, Zambia, and Mozambique. Other countries in East Africa include, of course, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, Uganda, Djibouti, Comoros, Seychelles, Madagascar, Mauritius, Southern Sudan, Eritrea, and Sudan. Even though Sudan sometimes they want to say it's in the northern side. So if we look at all these 18 countries who are supposed to produce the candidate for the AUC elections, 13 of them have supported the Kenyan candidate. apart from the 13, there is Ethiopia, whose stand we don't know, Somalia, who has supported Djibouti, even though they had shown interest of supporting Kenya, but they changed their mind. Now they're supporting Djibouti. Djibouti itself, who is producing a candidate, and Madagascar, who is producing a candidate. So out of the 18, 13 are supporting the Kenyan candidate. The other two, Madagascar and Djibouti, are producing candidate each, and Ethiopia, who is now supporting Djibouti. So it means in the East Africa region, all the countries are supporting Kenya, except Djibouti, who are producing a candidate, and Madagascar, who is producing candidates too. The rest are supporting Kenya except Ethiopia, whose stand has not come out clearly, and Sudan. And Sudan, of course, is not going to vote in these elections. There are 6 countries who are not going to vote in these elections. The 6 countries are the countries that are running governments which are not democratically elected, either through coups and such like things. So the 6 countries that are not going to vote include Sudan. From that angle alone, you can see that the real East Africa candidate is Raila Odinga, who is the Kenyan candidate, having garnered the support of the 13 out of 18 East Africa countries. So even other regions of Africa, based on that alone, they are able to tell who is the real East Africa candidate in this election. And because the seat is meant for the East African candidate, that alone is able to guide them on who to vote for as the ideal East Africa candidate in this election. So we can write down 13 for Raila Odinga in East Africa, and 2 for Djibouti candidate. That is Somalia and Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia has not come out to declare who they are supporting, let's give her vote to Djibouti. So give Djibouti 2, Kenya 13, Madagascar 1. Then we proceed to the Central Africa region. In the Central Africa region, we've got 9 countries, which include Central African Republic, Cameroon, Chad, Gabon, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Congo, and Guinea. And out of these 9 nations, majority have come out clearly to support the Kenyan candidate. And only Cameroon has not come out to declare who they are supporting, or who is being supported by the Cameroon for these elections. And of course, Gabon is not going to vote in these elections. It's among the 6 nations who are barred from voting in this election. So Gabon is not going to vote in this election, and Guinea too. So in Central African Republic, Central region, 2 nations are not going to vote out of the 9. So we are left with 7 who are going to vote. So amongst the 7 who are going to vote, 1, we don't know who they are voting for, which is Cameroon. The remaining 6 have declared their support for the Kenyan candidate Raila Odinga. So now we are done with the Central region of Africa, and we have seen that 6 nations are going to vote for Kenya. That is Raila Odinga. So Cameroon, whose vote we have not known who they are going to vote for, let's give that to Djibouti, so that we can proceed to the northern part of Africa. In North Africa, we have 5 nations. And these include Algeria, Egypt, Libya, and Tunisia. Those are 5. And out of the 5, they're going to vote, all of them. 4 have come out clearly to show their support for Kenyan candidate Raila Odinga. And these include Algeria, Egypt, Libya, and Tunisia. The 4 have come out clearly to say that we are going to vote for Raila Odinga, who is the Kenyan candidate. Only Morocco have not come out clearly to say who they are going to vote for. But for those who have been following the videos I've produced, in earlier, I'd shown that Egypt and Morocco usually have some differences, historical differences, and it's not very easy for Morocco to be on the same side with Egypt. So if Egypt have supported you, just be aware that Morocco is not going to support you. And if Morocco supports you first, then you have to be aware that Egypt is not going to support you, even for no reason. They have differences that they usually just are never on the same side. So that explains why Morocco has not declared its support for Raila Odinga. So we can just say that, okay, let Morocco go and vote for Djibouti, and the remaining 4 have declared their support for Raila Odinga. And as you are aware, the deputy is going to come from the North Africa region, the deputy chairperson. So they are not going to be joking with this seat also, because they have interest, because they are producing a deputy who has also gone through the same process of election as the chairman. So they're not gambling with that position. So they can't give their vote to somebody who is weak. And they know clearly in this election who is emerging strong in this election. So they're aligning themselves with that candidate. Egypt is producing a vice chairperson candidate. Algeria is producing. I think also Libya. Tunisia is also producing. So they want to align themselves with a stronger candidate who is going to win and work very well with the deputy from one of the countries. So as we move in North Africa, give Raila Odinga 4 votes, and Morocco, we give him the votes for Morocco to Djibouti, even though they have not come out clearly, so that we can proceed. Then we go to West Africa, which is very crucial also in this election. Many people had thought that because of Djibouti being a francophone, that many francophone countries are going to vote for him. And many francophone countries are found in the West African region. In the West African region, there are 16 nations. Out of the 16 nations, 3 are not going to vote. As I've explained earlier, there are 6 nations who are not going to vote for reasons that I've already explained. These include Mali, is not going to vote, Burkina Faso is not going to vote, and Niger. The 3 are not going to vote. So the remaining 13 that are going to vote include Mauritania, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Senegal, and Sierra Leone. Those are the 13 nations from the West Africa region that are going to vote in these elections. And out of the 13, only 3 have not declared their support clearly. Mauritania, Cape Verde, and Sierra Leone. The remaining 11 have come out clearly and showed their support for the Kenyan candidate Raila Odinga. So we can say from West Africa, Raila Odinga 11 votes, the Djibouti candidate maybe 3 votes. We don't know if there's anybody here who is going to vote for the Madagascar candidate, but we're just giving the Djibouti candidate because it's the closest rival in these elections. So Mauritius, Cape Verde, and Sierra Leone, we are giving to Djibouti. So in West Africa, it is Raila Odinga 11, Djibouti 3. Finally, we go to South Africa, the Southern Africa region of Africa. In the Southern region, we have 5 countries, which include Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Out of these 5 countries, one has not come out clearly who they are supporting, and this is Swaziland. The remaining 4 have declared their support openly for Raila Amolo Odinga of Kenya. And now, if we can conclude that in the southern region, it is Raila Odinga 4, and not really, and it's Raila Odinga 5, because there's 6 nations in the South Africa region, and only 1 has not spoken. The remaining 5 out of 6 have declared their support for Raila Odinga. That is Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe. So Swaziland, let's give that to the Djibouti candidate so that we can rest our case on that. So going with that, the numbers you have already mentioned, you realize that Raila Odinga have garnered 5 from Southern region, 11 from West Africa, that is 16, 4 from North Africa, that puts Raila Odinga at 20, Central Africa 6, that is 26, and then East Africa region is going to give him 13 votes. So he's having a 39 clear win votes in these elections. 39 votes of Africa have already declared their support that they're going to vote for Raila Amolo Odinga in these elections. So that's how the numbers are, and they have been supported by many things, including videos, including even clips, which I'm not going to put so much videos in this video so that it's going to remain short. That's the end of it. Let's wait for the election in Ethiopia on Saturday, and by Sunday, we'll be out here with the results. And before we conclude, I would like to just throw some spanner in the works. We like challenging ourselves sometimes after watching some of these things unfold. I want to say categorically that in these elections, before the elections are cast, out of the 2 candidates, apart from the Kenyan candidate, the Madagascar candidate and the Djibouti candidate, one of them is likely to step down before the elections are commenced. And most likely, I think, is the Madagascar candidate or even the Djibouti candidate, who knows. But I have a feeling that one candidate is going to drop. As you know, each candidate must, at least in the election, a winning candidate must garner the 2/3 majority. And I don't want to go so much into that because we already produced videos discussing that. You can watch some of the videos that that already proposed in this video. If you have watched this video up to this point, we thank you so much, and we ask you to please subscribe to this channel so that our subsequent videos will get notifications, and that's going to be going a long way in supporting us reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Africa. Thank you so